At last, my right arm is complete again. Let's Chicle chat about it.
Chicle?
Welcome to Chicle Chat. It's your boy Chicle, and we are back at it again with another Broadway review video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a Broadway review video on Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, the revival. Let me just first tell you this. I flew into New York on Wednesday morning, August 16th. I arrived at JFK at 9 a.m., took the A train to take the subway, took the subway to take off 50th Street, ran straight from the subway, went going straight to the theater about an hour and a half before the matinee started. Asked the lady at the box office if there was any other tickets left over. She said the cheapest ticket was like about 99 bucks. I gave her $100 in cash. She gave me a ticket, went to the Airbnb, got all washed up, went back to the theater, saw Josh Groban as Sweeney Todd, went back home, saw Josh Groban's Instagram saying that he was sick for the rest of the week, couldn't perform. So when I say that I was super lucky to see this musical, oh my goodness, was I lucky. And of course, we're going to review everything about this musical, but before we do, hit the subscribe button because we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. And then also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when another video comes out, and let me know in the comments below, did you see this musical and what did you think about it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go. This is the third revival of the Stephen Sondheim Tony Award-winning musical starring Josh Groban and Annalyn Ashford. After 15 years in exile, Sweeney Todd, an unsettling man with a mysterious past, arrives in a dark and gritty London, hungry for vengeance against the judge who destroyed his life. Todd joins forces with Mrs. Lovett, the unhinged proprietress of a failed pie shop, and together they develop a spine-tingling plot to exact revenge. When the lights go down and the curtains go up, you won't dare look away. It won 2 Tonys out of 8 nominations, and this musical is still currently playing at the L'Enfant Theater. I think I pronounced the theater name wrong, but that's where it's at. As you guys know, this musical was written by Hugh Wheeler, and the music and the score was by Stephen Sondheim, and it was originally directed by Hal Prince. And I believe for this revival, it's an adaptation by Christopher Bond. So this was a reimagining of Sweeney Todd, but it was originally directed by Hal Prince. The first thing that I want to say about the musical, the orchestra was probably the strongest out of all the 8 shows that I saw. It kind of felt like I was listening to the original cast, or at least instrumentally wise, I was listening to it. I know that the people are different from like 40 years ago, but you get what I mean. It had that same nostalgic sound of ominous feel of the musical because it's a horror comedy. So like, of course, it's going to feel very disturbing and horrifying. I love the background, how everything is so foggy. It's like you are definitely in London and there's a lot of things going on. You have the ensemble that comes on stage during the ballad, and when they set up the harmonies, and they just come up in that straight line in the front and they just belt out those notes, it just sends a chill to everybody's spines before Sweeney Todd makes his entrance during the prologue or the opening number. Gosh, I'm just so excited about talking about this that I'm just losing track. But anyway, when Josh Groban as Sweeney Todd appears on stage as the ensemble is singing the ballad, oh, it was just so good. Oh my gosh, like I was shivering. It was amazing. And what's kind of different about this musical revival is that there is a little bit more contemporary dance into it. I sort of kind of liked it. It sets a little bit of a foreshadow to expect what to expect in the musical. You also have some of these people that like in groups and they have the head twitching and all that stuff. And then you also have people that separate into groups and they do all this chopping motion. Now, I don't believe that anything that's choreographed is accidental. I think some of that is foreshadow because with the chopping method, it indicates that things are about to get chopped off. Like Mrs. Lovett chopping meat pies, and Sweeney Todd cutting some throats. I could go into more details about the choreography. I think it really suits with the musical, in my opinion, because it definitely sets a foreshadow of things that are about to happen throughout the story. And finally, we're going to talk about one thing about the musical, the cast. First, we have to talk about Josh Groban and Annalei Ashford as Sweeney Todd and Mrs. Lovett. You have to cast two people that are not only well experienced with the theater and that are extremely talented, you also have to cast two people specifically that have amazing chemistry, because these two characters have great chemistry. And the fact they picked Josh Groban, who sings so angelic, playing a very demonic character, alongside with the kooky Miss Annalei Ashford as Mrs. Lovett, just works perfectly in my eyes. I laughed non-stop whenever she sang or had some lines, and Josh Groban just sings super like angelic, but so in a demonic tone that it just brings chills in your spine. So the two together, in my opinion, were just fantastic. And I'm just gonna be a little bit biased. I mean, Sweeney Todd is one of my favorite musicals that I got to learn about, and also my mother and I are fans of Josh Groban, so I mean, I'm obviously going to say good things about this show. Next, we have Tobias, who is played by Gaten Matarazzo, who is in Stranger Things. It's very odd at first that somebody that plays Tobias is a little bit older, but I think it kind of works with this musical because he's somebody that feels a little bit out of the picture. He's just trying to find somebody to take care of him who will take care of somebody after being abused by Pierre. I never knew he could sing, and I mean, they had to change like the what is it called? The key for his range, because he's not a little kid. But yeah, it's very interesting that they cast somebody a little bit older to play the role. But honestly, I thought that he was amazing. He kind of disturbed me a little bit at the end. I'm not gonna spoil it. Next, we have Daniel Yearwood as Anthony. Now, originally, Jordan Fisher originated the role in the revival as Anthony. I really enjoyed him. He was amazing when he sang Arriving to London. And when he's singing about Joanna and stuff, he was just so innocent. He just wants to be Sweeney Todd's friend because he helped him out back there and everything. So honestly, like, I enjoyed him. The Beggar Woman, played by Ruthie Ann Miles. A very crazy character. Obviously, she plays a major part of the story, although she's just a side character that comes here and over. So if you're not familiar with Sweeney Todd, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything. But the fact that she just comes up to Anthony and Sweeney Todd in the beginning, you could tell that she has an important role of this musical. They just see her as just somebody who is just begging for money, and it's like, be gone. But she arrives back and forth for a very important reason. We have Joanna, played by Maria Biblio. So when she sings Greenfinch and Lindenbird, oh, she was gorgeous, man. Like, her voice was gorgeous. Her presence was gorgeous. I just enjoyed that a lot. She was just amazing, man. And, you know, she's just playing that damsel of distress because she is under arms of the judge. Which, speaking of, where's the judge? Judge Turpin, played by Jamie Jackson. Somebody who is obsessed about power and lust and everything. He just took Sweeney Todd's daughter away, and so when Sweeney Todd finds out that she's still alive, he wants to get revenge on the judge. So the fact that he's trying to keep the daughter away from everybody is just, you can tell that he's a little crazy because that's just his character. But yeah, I like his voice because he's like, I'm going to marry her, and you know, so I always like to have a man figure, stuff like that. We had Beetle Bamford, played by John Rapson. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you had to be a high tenor to play this role. I like how he's just so sly. He's just like the right hand of the judge and stuff, and he's just as brutal as the judge. And honestly, like, I didn't know that he could sing high tenor. I had no idea. That was interesting. I love it. And then Pierre Lee, played by Nicholas Christopher. He's the one that is the barber who's trying to sell a very rigged Exler, and that Sweeney Todd says, oh, it smells like piss, and they compete each other. You can tell that he has a very like French, Italian, or whatever accent that he has, that it's obviously fake. Yeah, he's over-exaggerated. I thought he was a little annoying, but that's just how the character is. But overall, he was very funny, and I enjoyed it. Overall, I thought the cast was amazing, and again, this is a classical musical brought back on stage, and especially during the modern time, they just made it super well. Oh my gosh, I just thought the orchestrations and the ensemble were extremely strong. I enjoyed a bunch of songs from Josh Groban and Annalei Ashford, like My Friends, the Little Priest song, By the Sea. I just want to just say, overall, this musical, in my opinion, gets an 11 out of 10. This was one of my favorite musicals that I saw out of the 8 shows that I saw during that trip. And honestly, this was something that I would definitely recommend. And then, of course, just keep in mind that it is a little gory and a little disturbing, so just be warned before you buy a ticket. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the review for Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It is currently running at the Luton LaFontaine Theater. Again, I must have butchered the name of the theater, but at least I got Sweeney Todd right. Anyway, that's all the time. Stay tuned for another Broadway review video next week. We will see you next time. Peace out.